There are two controversies in which the world was created. They are creation and evolution. A evolutionist, a person who believes in the theories of evolution and natural selection. A creationist, a person who believes that the universe and living organisms originate from specific acts of divine creation, as in the biblical account. 95% of the world's population has heard of a dinosaur, but do they know the hidden truth about it? The hidden truth about dinosaurs. Did dinosaurs really live millions of years ago? Evolutionists believe that dinosaurs roamed the Earth millions of years ago and that no man has ever seen a living dinosaur. Now let's see if that's true. First, to begin with, the Earth is not billions of years old. According to Bible facts, the Earth is between 6,000 to 7,000 years old. If you're wondering how, then let's do the maths. 2000 to 2019 equals 20 years. 1900 to 1999 equals 100 years. 1800 to 1899 equals 100 years. 1700 to 1799 equals 100 years. 1600 to 1699 equals 100 years. 1500 to 1599 equals 100 years. 1400 to 1499 equals 100 years. 1300 to 1399 equals 100 years. 1200 to 1299 equals 100 years. This gives you 820 years, and if you add the BC and AD, you will get about over 3,000 years. So now that we get that the Earth is not millions of years old, let's move on to the next part. Is it true that no man has seen a living dinosaur? Now here's the big question. Evolutionist says that no man has ever seen a living dinosaurs, and that dinosaurs lived millions of years before men. But that's false. Adam and Eve was the first two people that God created on the earth, which basically means that they would have seen a dinosaur. And besides, God let Adam named all the animals. So that means man did live with dinosaurs, and what evolutionists are saying is false. Did God create dinosaurs? That's a very tricky question. But to answer the question, based on research facts, the answer is no, he did not create dinosaurs. Now that leads us now with another question. If God did not create dinosaurs, then who did? The answer is dinosaurs was created by man during Noah's time. In Noah's era, the people's sins was as giants as the Bible describes, which means people there wanted to be as God. So they started to create their own things such as animals. In case you may be wondering how, the answer is by genetic engineering, which means they took DNA from certain animals and combine it together. So this is how dinosaurs was created. I know it's hard to believe, but this is the truth. Take a look at this dinosaur, Brachiosaurus, sauropods and other long necks, for example. It has the head and neck of a snake, the body of an elephant, some has the body of a giraffe, and has the tail of a crocodile, some has the tail of a snake, the skin of a reptile, example crocodile, alligator, lizard, etc. A Christian lady by the name of Ellen G. White got a vision from God about many things, in which she wrote on a book called Spiritual Gifts, in which we might have proof about dinosaurs. Every species of animal which God created were preserved in the ark. The confused species which God did not create, which were the result of amalgamation, were destroyed by the flood. Soon after the flood, the race began to rapidly decrease in size, and in length of years. There was a class of very large animals which perished at the flood. God knew that the strength of man would decrease, and these mammoth animals could not be controlled by feeble man. I was shown that very large, powerful animals existed before the flood which do not now exist. The bones of human beings and of animals found in the earth are much larger than those of men and animals now living, or that have existed for many generations past. God so ordered that men, beasts, and trees many times larger than those now upon the earth, and other things, should be buried in the earth at the time of the flood, and there be preserved to evidence to man that the inhabitants of the old world perished by a flood. God designed that the discovery of these things in the earth should establish the faith of men in inspired history. You may draw your own conclusions from these statements. It seems evident to me that God did not create dinosaurs, but that they were the result of satanically inspired genetic tampering. They existed contemporaneously with mankind before the flood, but mercifully were permitted to become extinct during that global deluge. Although Ellen never used the word dinosaurs, I think it is pretty clear that this is exactly what she here described. What is amalgamation? It is mixing things that should not be mixed. It is now possible for scientists to do this. It's called genetic engineering. By introducing foreign genetic codes into the cell structures, they can cross species barriers and alter genetic codes. But, the opponents say, there was no genetic engineering in Noah's days. The trouble is, people are so sold on the evolution theory that even those who still believe somewhat in creation cannot conceive of the idea that people before the flood were very, very intelligent and advanced scientifically. Their knowledge and skill and understanding was way beyond our own. Since Noah is the father of everyone alive today, any genetic tampering that comes to us from before the flood would be inherent in us all through Noah. Before anyone starts ridiculing all this, do some serious study into genetics and how they act in recessive and active forms. Look at what is now possible. There are some very revealing studies out. Amalgamation does not mean cross-species mating. It is introducing new genetic information into existing cell structures to alter some characteristic or other and come up with a slightly altered individual. Let's explain Ellen G. White writings in Spiritual Gifts. But if there was one sin above another which called for the destruction of the race by the flood, it was the base crime of amalgamation of man and beast, which defaced the image of God, and caused confusion everywhere. What this is saying is that man was creating animals of their own and was causing confusion everywhere, which God was not happy about. So the animals, dinosaurs God did not create, was destroyed by the flood. There are still species of animals that still exist today which are from amalgamation. The confused species which God did not create, which were the result of amalgamation, were destroyed by the flood. Since the flood there has been amalgamation of man and beast, as may be seen in the almost endless varieties of species of animals, and in certain races of men. What killed the dinosaurs? The answer is dinosaurs died in the flood in Noah's era. They were not killed by a giant asteroid as evolutionists will say. There are facts today that they died from the flood. A fossil is made up of rock and water, which means that they were a great flooding event in the past. Even some scientist has realized that. Is dinosaurs mentioned in the Bible? The word dinosaur is not mentioned in the Bible, but the word dragon is. It was created by Richard Owen, who found the bones in 1842. The word dino means terrible or fearful, fully great, and saurus meaning lizard or reptile. Dinosaurs were called dragons in the Bible, and God also described Satan as one, because Satan is the source creator of them. Are dinosaurs still alive? Yes, they are still alive. As we learned earlier that dinosaurs were all destroyed in the flood at the time of Noah. They are still living dinosaurs in the world today, 2019. There are people who have cited living dinosaurs example, the Loch Ness Monster, Mekele Mbembe etc. You may be asking yourself, why are dinosaurs still alive today? The answer is man have started back genetic engineering again. So if dinosaurs are alive today, why haven't many of us seen one? The answer is that they are hidden away from us. The Bible says, as in the days of Noah, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. In a few coming years, we will be seeing all kind of strange animals appearing. Mekele Mbembe. Mekele Mbembe, meaning one who stops the flow of river, is a sauropod, long-necked dinosaur, found in the jungle of Congo in Africa. It is known to attack the local villagers, which makes them very fearful of it. Many researchers has traveled to Congo to spot the animal, but they all have been unsuccessful. What's to come? They are hiding these creatures in remote areas of the world. And when the time is ready, they are going to display it to the world. Do you know why they keep the real dinosaur bones secretly in museums away from the public? That's because if they show the real ones, then people will know evolution is a lie. Because the bones will show the animal blood tissue. And people will realize that they didn't live millions of years ago. And another thing is they are hiding the bones to extract the dinosaur blood DNA. To create more clone dinosaur as shown in Jurassic Park World. The world is changing, folks, and I hope we are all ready for when these things start to happen.